off on the right track today. Or maybe it'll just help you recalibrate. Take your mind off all the stress that's going on around you. Come on, you ready? Let's go.
Living out loud, living out loud. Loving out loud, loving out loud. Laughing out loud, laughing out loud. I want the world to know that I'm blessed. Hey, oh, hey.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You are listening and watching the Living Out Loud Radio TV show with yours truly, Thurston O'Neal. I am back with some of my friends. As you know, we had a great time last week. So listen, we're back. I actually think you guys are going to be pretty interested in how the results came out this week. The next bracket is already set. I'm going to show you guys the breakdown of how everything, how people voted. It was very, very interesting, actually. And I think some people must have voted after our conversation because there was a couple of comebacks that I don't think we expected. So this should be very, very interesting. Vaughn, what's up, my dude?
What's up, Vaughn? What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man? All right. So how was your guys' week? How was everybody's week gone?
Pretty good.
Same old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Darren, did you hold virtual church today?
Oh yeah, we've been holding virtual church ever since March 22nd.
Oh, okay. All right, nice.
And interestingly, we've been in some discussions because we were nomadic, which
okay.
You know. And so we've been in discussions. We've decided that we're not going back to where we were.
Beautiful.
That we're going to, by faith, just get out of this nomadic thing. It's been 20 years.
Yeah, So this is the thing. I didn't realize you were pastoring for 20 years now, man.
20 years February, bro.
Wow.
Started from
Congratulations,
scratch.
man.
Yeah, man. Started from scratch in our home, and it's God. And wow, you got Jeff Roberson coming?
Yeah, listen, I'm waiting for his. Wow. I'm waiting for his picture to pop up because I'm going crazy right now.
That's my brother, so I'm going to be quiet like this whole time and listen to him talk.
This is going to be deep. This is going to be real deep. Wow. I'm just going to sit back and let him and Randy handle this one.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How about you?
I had the stories last week, man. Can you imagine the stories that Jeff has, man?
Oh man, because he brings the King's Temple deal to it with Benny Cummings.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to him about.
Oh man.
All right, so a couple of things. I'm gonna try my best to keep sort of a time limit. I don't want to keep you guys all night, but the conversation got so good last time. We were on for like an hour and a half. Reg, what's going on, baby? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me back.
Hey, brother Alvarez.
Hey, son.
Being with you brothers last week. It was awesome.
Yeah, we had a wonderful time, man. So very glad you guys could come back. So I sent you guys a little clip that I posted online about how we started. That was a great conversation, man. We actually could have had a whole show just on that, and we'll probably come back to that in a later show. But we are gonna get to the Gospel Songwriter Super Bowl. So of course, you guys all know Jeff Roberson is a phenomenal songwriter, incredible minister. Jeff was actually one of the first guys to ask me to join his gospel group. I was really young. I don't even remember how old I was when myself and my sister Pinky were singing with Jeff way back. Jeff, I'm sure you remember that, right?
Man, can you see me? Because I can't see myself.
I can't see you. Hold on. I'm going to send you a thing for you to click because that's what I had to do with Randy. So
okay.
But
you can hear me?
I can hear you great.
Start my video. There we go.
There you go. There's my man. What's up, bro?
Man, it's just a pleasure to be with you brothers here, man, on this platform. I really appreciate you, Thurston. And
yeah, listen, I appreciate you. I mean, you know how much I love you, Jeff. I mean, we've had a really long relationship. And you saw something in me a long time ago. You asked me to come and sing with you. And You know, I remember that like yesterday. We were out in Bayshore.
It was yesterday, man. It was.
Yo, Thirst, Jeff is the guy that played on your album?
Absolutely. He played, he sang. So I could call Jeff anytime.
Did he do
the song that you wrote, he played on. I
Okay.
empty myself of my. So Randy's the one that wrote that song, Jeff.
Oh, he wrote that. Okay.
Yes,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he was the only other person that wrote a song on my album. I wrote everything except that one song. It was so phenomenal, man. And you remember you came to the studio and I just sang it. You played behind me and we just started recording. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, man. You know, first of all, you got Darren Butler down here, Doc. So we really in for a good conversation with this brother here.
Oh yes.
His legacy runs deep, man. Real deep. Hempstead, the Woodsides. I mean, the Butler's family. His mom, man. We love her to life. You hear what I'm trying to tell you?
So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time out to come join us tonight, man.
Come on, man. I'm just honored. You know, when you told me about this, I thought about just the opportunity and the platform for what we do musically, especially here in New York. And at least I know nobody can come beat me up in my house. So I'm good. But New York artists, man, it's like when they make it, they don't reach back to help nobody.
Whoa! What did we
started touching on that last week, dude?
What did we say?
We started touching on that last week, bro. For real.
They don't do it. And, you know, they don't do it. And it's sad. But, you know, what happens, I think they've missed the opportunity to create a real legacy.
Yes.
Because, man, if you build up on the talent that's in your neighborhood, Doc, your name gonna ring bells around the country. That's how the Winans did it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just, you know, it wasn't just their family. They extended it to Donnie. They just kept opening up doors, and now the new cat on the block for Marvin is not Nelson, Reynolds. This guy Reynolds.
Jonathan
McReynolds.
I didn't know that. I did not catch that connection, bro.
Man.
So we got
he's a bad boy.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. We got on the subject last week because Darren was talking about the connection they have in the Bay Area that created the whole Andre and
the Hawkins. The Hawkins family.
The Hawkins family and all of them, how they supported one another. And you're right. They have a legacy now. They have a legacy of artists, of songwriters, of impact on the gospel community. It's really phenomenal.
Let's not forget, though, we also discussed how Detroit caught on. And I saw it personally. I mentioned this last week about how Detroit, and Jeff, I was telling him how, you know, I saw personally when I went out there for a music workshop. I'm not going to name the artist in the name, okay? I'm going to be nice. But I went out there for a music workshop, and I know for a fact they had beef with one another. But when it came time to get the stuff done, they went vegan. They put the beef aside, man, and they supported one another. And you know what I think? You know what I think is something that needs to come out of this, because Gene told me about you, Randy. So you was laying low too. You was being Mr. Humble too, man. He told me about you. And I think one of the things that needs to come out of this is that we correct what Jeff said. We correct that. There's enough firepower, quote unquote, here right now, just on this phone call, to say, you know what, we're gonna change that. We're gonna figure out a way how to come together and just, you know, reverse that trend, because the level of talent. Let me tell you, okay, Benny Cummings.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
When Benny would go to California, okay, Darryl Coley, the Hawkins, all of them, they would just sit back and they would just be in awe, because the New York sound was a sound that unlike was anything else in the country. Right. Then, okay, we're going to talk about Jeff was a part of the band. The Meeks brothers.
Oh my goodness.
Alvin.
You starting with all the heavy hitters tonight, man.
Hey, and listen, why waste time? We ain't got a lot of us, so let's just go right for it, man. And you know, just when they would go across the country and they would play, they would take the place by storm. And depending on who you talk to now, who has a little bit of time on them, Randy. It's still an enigma to them why New York didn't have more of a place of prominence on the scene than what it did, because they knew they would not. It was like, listen, y'all had a sound. Y'all had, I mean, this hard sound. We talked about this hard sound that was just like you could just sit on that thing, man. And so, anyway, I don't want to monopolize. I'm getting.
I remember the first time I heard King's Temple.
Yes, come on, man.
I was at a church called Baptist Temple.
Yeah,
it was the first time they came out and sung, and I'm sitting there, and it was a small group, and man, I mean, they killed it. And from there, they was like this choir, man. That's just like it was like the very. They were like one of the first to really start with this particular type of sound. I mean, we always had choirs. I remember as far back as they had what they called the New York Community Choir.
Yeah,
might be way before you guys. With a guy called Isaac Douglas.
Yep.
Isaac Douglas, Benny Diggs, don't forget.
Man, that was the choir.
Right.
I mean, you can pull up some YouTube and check some of that stuff out. But man, that choir was like one of the first mass choirs that came out. Right. And they put all these people together, and then it just went from there. But Benny Cummings, man, they had something special. Yeah. I mean, because even Willard had something special because he would do all this classical stuff on the keyboard. That I like. I mean, it floored me, man. They was tight, man.
Tight.
They were tight.
And then Jeff would add a completely different. It was amazing the way Jeff would compliment Willard as far as keyboards was concerned. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is Benny was a phenomenal keyboard player, pianist. A lot of people don't realize that. He also had a classical bent to him. But just to show you the greatness of King's Temple, Benny didn't have to play much. You know, Willard and Jeff just anchored that thing. And then you had Edgar Meeks on the drums. Listen, you haven't heard drum playing until you hear Edgar Meeks play drum. I'm sorry, I don't mean any harm, okay? You know, but their band was just phenomenal, man. And then the first album they did, God's Music Is My Life. It was a musician's dream. You know, so I'm just
y'all going back, man. Y'all going way back. So I was just a youngster.
Me too, bro.
I recognize some of the names that they were mentioning. I recognize the names.
So the time that I was in the midst, it would just blow me away. I hadn't even gotten to a point where I was really singing. Like, you know, I've sang all my life with my family and stuff like that, but stepping out into the forefront I wasn't there yet, right? So, but I do remember just the feeling that I would get whenever I was over at King's Temple, hearing them sing. New York Community Choir. It was an experience like none other. It really was. And you're right. We should have made more of an impact globally with that New York sound. And for whatever reason, we didn't. And listen, maybe it's something that I'm missing, but there was a certain sound that was coming out, especially from that sort of circuit, that never got to the prominence that I think it should have.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Thurston. Absolutely.
Now, do you? And before we go, because again, I don't want to monopolize the whole thing with this talk, but I think people love hearing about this. Do you have an idea of why? Like,
Dr. Roberson, I'm gonna let you answer that one, bro.
Well, I mean, there is an opinion. Like I said, I'm in my house, so ain't nobody coming up in here. Let me double check. You don't live in the hood.
That's right.
But it was a mentality, right?
There you go.
That was going around when I was coming up. But here's the deal. When I was coming up, there would be choirs like Bible Way. Okay, that's with Michael Rogers, right? Derek Schofield, Bobby Walker, Jeffrey White. Then there'd be an institutional. Then Then you would have a tribal mass choir.
Come on, man.
Right?
Come on.
Hempstead community. So my point is I'm setting it up to let you know how we did it. There was a competition, but it was musical.
Right.
So I remember many nights when Albert Jameson and his brother Alan, because Albert is a twin, they would come over to King's Temple and sit in our rehearsals. Right? There would be times that I would go to Brooklyn, be with in Bible Way, talk to Jeff, and we call him Spider, but it's Bobby. And we would talk. It was a camaraderie. And it was competitive, but it was musically competitive. We helped each other. That's how everybody was able to get that little name.
Yeah.
But something happened where the competition got distorted. And it became personal. And once it became personal, it became like, I got mine, you got to go get yours.
Wow. And
then we collectively, we still got the talent, but we did not have the strength of the numbers and helping each other. Now, everybody knows it's a godly shame that New York don't even have a 24-hour FM gospel radio station.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah.
You understand?
Can I speak to that for a second?
Yes, Reg.
First of all, I appreciate being here. Pastor Bernard has taught us that if you're the smartest one in your group, find a new group.
That's right.
Man, I'm just learning. But to Brother Jeff, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're right. It's a mentality, and it goes beyond music, but of course it affected the music world, especially gospel. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I got totally engaged in gospel in the mid-90s. So I was learning and catching up and teaching myself, because I really had nobody to teach me about gospel music, about the heritage and stuff like that. But I was always into music. I don't play instruments or anything. I'm just a fan. But what I realized is that what you said in terms of mentality is, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, especially in the New York hub, where we're all fighting just to make it, and we're almost taught that we're doing it on our own. So we carry that mentality, and we're kind of like trying to protect, as if somebody else is trying to take ours, when we should be kind of, hey, let me show you how I did it. Let me give you some. But we got caught up in that hub and in the kind of profit above our talent, and it kind of infected the gospel world. So that's kind of like what I came into and what I realized, because it happened, of course, in the secular realm long time ago.
Absolutely. Yes, I was just about to say that same thing, Reg. We're not alone.
Yep, and you know, as I'm listening to you, what happened was we allowed the commercialization of it to overshadow the artistic aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, okay, when we started to call, you see what Jeff did? Jeff pointed out, okay, Darren has dropped the album, he's doing some work, whatever.
Right.
See, his generation, even though they were subjected to the commercial aspect of it, when the commercialization factors started seeping in, they would still find a way to encourage one another on the down low, behind the scenes, okay? His generation, and so what happened was, when the commercialization of the thing began to grow, that's when it began to stifle the artistic, because Jeff's generation and some of my generation, I'm like, I'm gonna put myself with Thurston. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Okay?
Come on in, bro.
I'm sorry, Randy. I gotta leave you on this one, bro.
That's okay.
But some with our generation, we're kind of like, what's going on with you, brother? Okay, tell me what's happening with your thing. I wanna push your thing. I wanna do your thing.
Right.
We still have this allegiance to the artistic aspect of it, and we don't allow ourselves to pimp ourselves and pimp one another with the commercialization of it. And so Brother Alvarez, you put it so succinctly, and that's what brought the division in, when the commercialization became an idol. Yeah. When the commercialization became an idol. And then we forgot about the artistic aspect of it, whereby, as we look across the country, they found the balance between the artistic aspect of it and the commercialization.
Yeah.
They didn't forsake the commercialization, okay? They made sure they got paid, they took care of business. But they also maintain the artistic aspect of it. And then when it came time to say, okay, I'm going to feed the artists so that we all can benefit from the commercialization, then that selflessness came in and they was able to push that thing. So,
yeah, it came more to me because I I knew a lot of the musicians, coming up out of the church, coming up out of Pilgrim and stuff like that and playing there.
wow,
A lot of these guys came and stuff like that. So what I started to see that it became more of job security.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they would not share what they had. Because, I always say, musicians come to dime a dozen. You will always find an organist player, guitar player, stuff like that. So as the more these musicians started coming up, it became a threat. Yeah. So now if you got these musicians playing one place, now you see this other musician, now you as an artist, and I understand it. Fred Hammond started at one level. So as he began to grow, you get better musicians. You get more qualified musicians.
Right.
I mean, we might be boys and stuff like that, but this guy's a better drummer, and he's going to give me what I need. And then the more you grow, the more you get. This is like when I'm telling you about going back to the Andre thing. Andre started out with one level. Then as he grew, you started seeing him bringing all the different type of musicians and started bringing more and more qualified musicians. So when you got a job, you kind of like held on to it. You wouldn't show nobody if you had a run and I'm looking over your shoulder trying to see that run and you're trying to shield a run on the keyboard because you don't want nobody to steal your run, because that's what it's all about. You're learning from one another, but then you want to have people that want to hoard the gift. They're not willing to share it, so it become this competition type of thing now where, I'm a drummer. You're going to see all the drummers looking at you. You're going to see you a keyboard player. All the keyboard players is owned by the keyboard player. And everybody's trying to pick, But now, if you a guy that's secure in your gift, you don't mind sharing. You don't mind giving. Right. And that's what's happening with a lot of these musicians today. They don't want, it's about job security. I don't want to give because now if you come by and surpass me, you might take my gig.
Yep.
Yep. And this is how they look at stuff. So it's all about, them wanting to be able to share. And I think that's where we started to see the breakdown in a lot of stuff. Some of the older guys, we don't mind. We help somebody, like you said, somebody help you along, you help them along. And that's how you do. But in this generation now, it's not, I got mine. I'm not showing nobody nothing. I'm keeping it so that way I can maintain what I have.
Yeah. So, and listen, again, this is not necessarily to bash musicians or singers or even New York, but this is just a reality of the world that we live in, and it's not only in our field. Like there are the other fields, mental health field. So I have a mentor that talks about his struggle to find someone to mentor him when he was coming up, right? Wanting to find another African-American psychologist to really pour into him and couldn't find him anywhere. So now, it's a blessing for me because he pours everything into me. I can call him at any time and I have questions, I have struggles, whatever, I can call on him and he pours into me. Same thing with Jeff. So I can call Jeff at any time. I can call Darren at any time. I can call Randy at any time and ask any question and have someone to pour into me on a personal level, not just on a level where they're speaking to hundreds of people and sharing, right? But a very personal, intimate level, being able to get that feedback. That's powerful, and that helps us to sustain ourselves. Listen, I don't have to be world-renowned and the best that ever did it, but I want to do what I love to do, and I want to be able to share my gift with the world. And to take it all the way back, because of the field that we're in, I want to be able to minister effectively, right?
Yes.
So even beyond the commercialization of it, even beyond, listen, I think I'm a great lyricist, right? But I can write the greatest lyrics, but if it's not ministering to someone, what am I doing it for?
Yes.
Right? So I think that's incredibly important. Hey, Kim.
Hey.
There's my sister.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have a sister
Kim.
on
How's
the
everybody?
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim. How you
Good.
doing?
Hey,
Kim.
how you
How
doing?
you doing? Good.
How's everybody?
All right.
Good.
Everybody's
All right.
wonderful,
Bless you.
wonderful,
Bless
wonderful.
Excellent.
So we were definitely male dominant. So I'm glad to have a sister on camera with us. Thanks for coming on, Kim.
And not just any sister.
Nah,
Any sister, exactly.
listen, I know I was a little intimidated. I was like, wait a
Nah,
minute.
man.
No.
So everybody knows Kim. Kim is incredible. Kim knows her craft inside out. I mean,
Wow.
it's really phenomenal. And so, Kim, I'm glad you were able to join. I don't know how much you heard so far, but we were talking about the New York gospel scene back in the day. And I don't know how much, so I'm not sure about your church history. I know you're from
Right.
PCC, of course. I don't know about your church history and how much you know about it, but Jeff and Darren were sharing about this New York sound that was going around. Do you have any thoughts on that and about supporting one another, how we should support each other more?
Wow. You could say a lot with that.
I
question.
know. I'm about to get in trouble, actually. So I'm actually going to move our conversation on to what we came for, but this is such a rich conversation. I love it.
Well, as far as my church background, I am definitely a Pentecostal raised,
Okay.
and went to Brooklyn Tabernacle Deliverance Center with
Okay.
Pastor C.R. Johnson. My introduction to gospel music really came going to LaGuardia High School. When we came through, it was like, it was serious because we were, who headed us was Robert Demetrius Griffin, and I don't know if you know, and then after that was a young man named Sean McPhail, but we were just, we were quite good. I mean, we and then we affiliated with Hezekiah Walker,
Okay.
James Hall. So I'm during those times.
Okay. Cool.
Like the late 80s and 90s. Brooklyn Tab had a bad choir too.